Hi guys, so I was kind of struggling with what I was going to do today for Freeform Friday. I've been having a lot of different ideas in my head, like an altered clipboard. I got some file folders at the Dollar Tree not too long ago that are like legal size, because I was like, these are really big when I got home, and they're legal size, they're huge. Let me see. And I was like, oh, that would be fun to alter, but they are very big, so I don't know what I would do with them, but this would be kind of fun. So then I was thinking about Mod Podge, and then I was thinking, well, I don't know if I want to do a whole project, because then it's got to wait to dry. And so if I have any links for anything, they will be affiliate links, but it might be just for some of the items that, you know, I might add extra. So which would mean that I would make a small commission if you purchase any items through those links. And so as I was thinking, I'm like, okay, I know at the dollar store they had Mod Podge. I have tons of Mod Podge anyway. And then I started thinking about, okay, so how do I want to do it? Do I want to do a card, maybe a file folder, maybe like a mini album type thing? And then I started going through my old blog, or not my old blog, but through my blog, because I used to have obviously tons of old videos on my old channel. And I was like, I know I've done file folders before. And so I found one, the first one, and I was like, yeah, that's the one I was thinking about in 2010. And it's literally just a file folder that you fold in 4 sections, and people have been using that same technique since then, right? So it's kind of basic. So I'm like, I don't know. And so, okay, so then I started thinking about, okay, what would I Mod Podge anyway? And in my head was very fresh the Spellbinders card kit of the month, because I just used it yesterday, right? Or was it yesterday? Oh my gosh, I don't even know. To do the little easel card. Oh, I told you guys this one would be next, darn. Well, it's Freeform Friday, so I can't do this one, but I will do this one very soon, the APG of the month, which is this cute little telephone, kind of makes like a little album. But I was like, oh, you know what, this stuff is very travel, it's kind of fun, and then, so I thought, why don't, it just all came together in my head, because I was like, well, I don't really want to do a card, because if you decoupage a card, sometimes it starts warping, and, you know, your card looks kind of funky, but I mean, you can straighten it out, and that's fine. And I thought, oh, a postcard. And then it clicked in my head, because weeks ago, whenever I did the stamps, show you guys how to make your own stamps, I wanted to do, like, my own to and from postcard, like, because that'd be cute, right? You just have your stamp ready to go, and you stamp it, and then you have your little to and your from. For like the back of a postcard. And so this all just kind of works out, because the whole travel theme and all that I think is going to be really sweet and really fun. So what I'm going to do is pick out papers. Again, I've already gone through the kit a few times. The kit always comes with a paper pad with your dimensional stickers. It has chipboard, which I'm not going to use today. Maybe we'll use the stamps. We're definitely going to use these die cut pieces. There's other papers in here. There's always, you know, some fun things, like little sequins, which I'm not going to use because obviously you want to keep your postcard flat. I could probably use the card base, but I'm just going to go ahead and get some other white paper or craft paper, whatever it is that you want to build up on. And you know what? I didn't even think about using this. I don't know that I'm going to use the die set, you guys. The dies are very straightforward. A lot of times I use the die set because I want to, you know, to show them to you guys how they work. But, of course, because I'm going to use the die cuts, you know, where's the... It's super straightforward. You're just going to cut your pieces, you know, you cut the little, I don't know if it's a holder, what do you want to call it, guide, I don't know. Whatever outer piece you want to use, and then basically they pieced it together. So they did this, and then they cut it out in pink, and then they put the pink pieces back in there. But, again, there's like a little... like surf kind of thing you can pop in there. There's like these palm trees. You can probably layer it up. There's lots of cute things to do with it, but for now I'm just going to use some of these other pieces. So we're going to need some kind of brush or foam brush or however you want to apply your Mod Podge. I have different types of Mod Podge, so I'm just going to pick one, but they all, to me, they're all the same. I know that some are shinier, some are matte, whatever you got. You know, the Dollar Tree, I think they have the matte and the gloss type. Or do they have hard coat there too? It doesn't matter. I will be right back with measurements, and you'll kind of have an idea of what I'm going for, and we'll just have fun with it and see what happens. Okay. To be honest, I have no idea where we're going with this, but this is already open, so I'll probably use the hard coat, especially since it's going through the mail, supposedly. This is the same they use for furniture. It's just supposedly better for things that are getting handled a lot. Like I said, I think these are all kind of gimmicky. I think they all are the same, but that's just me. All right, so the Dollar Tree, you can get these guys, the matte or the gloss. And then it's so funny, I have this sparkle one, and I had seen people use sparkle before. I'm like, oh, that's nice, but I have some. But again, I've shown you guys, you can mix your pigments into these. You can mix your mica powders, and I was thinking about doing that, but I want to keep it simple and let's just get going. So if you want to mix mica powders into like your little glop of your Mod Podge, I think that'd be really pretty. It'll add some sparkle. So there are some standard postcard sizes. So this one, I just cut this down to 5 3/4 by, hold on, by, what did I do here? Oh no. Okay, so 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we want this at the end to be 3 1/2 by 5, and I just want a little extra, so I'm gonna tape it down just so that I can work on this a little bit easier, but you don't have to do that if you just want to work on your piece that's already cut. But standard postcard sizes, again, are 3 1/2 by 5 and 4 1/4 by 6, and then bigger, right? Bigger, I think, is kind of crazy, so I would probably stick to this. And I like this kind of postcard size. I think it's cute. So I just cut the paper, like I said, just a little bit bigger so I can tape it down and we can start working. But, of course, I said that, and then where'd my tape go? I literally just had it. Let me find my tape. I'll be right back. You see, I'm learning. I found it and I got it ready instead of getting back on camera and then being like, oh, I'm not ready. So I'm just going to tape this down on the very edges because I only give myself like a 1/4 inch, so you know, I don't have a lot of room to give here. So I'm going to go around all the edges and tape this down, and I'll be right back. So let's just look at this. There's lots of cute stuff. Oh, I might have to use this paper somehow because I still have my little pieces here from the small stamp of the month. And I thought, oh, that'd be nice to add some little accents, right? Because it looks kind of like travel-y, I don't know. So I have these here that maybe I will stamp some of those. And this one already echoes that. I don't want it to be too dark, though. Like this goes really nicely. Maybe we'll throw in some other... I know this is weird, but decoupage can be weird. Let's think about using these 3 cut like papers. And then we have a ton of die cuts. I thought this was really fun because you can do this with any of your kits, and they always include tons of die cuts. Like, you might as well use them up in different ways. And have fun to just sit there and do a whole session of just making a ton of cards. I think that'd be really fun. So obviously these colors aren't extremely Paris, especially with like this kind of Moroccan vibe I got going here. So let me think about what I want to do. So we have a little elephant. Of course, you have these little kind of cute things that would be fun to mix and match in there. Maybe this one. See, this one says Paris, and this is really cute, but then again, Paris? You know, I'm doing something else here. Oh, we have that. I love here. Aw. This little London one might be okay. Alright, oh, look at little New York. We have relax. Oh, is there a breeze? I open the window and I feel like a little breeze. Oh, this is so cute. I'm telling you, they make the cutest stuff. Look at, oh, Italia Pisa. That's cute. But then again, what does it have to do with the elephant? I might have to get rid of the elephant. We'll see. So I'm going to dig through these things and pick out some fun, maybe a little elephant. That might be good. Some things that I might Mod Podge down, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I have no idea what I just brought a bunch of stuff, and I probably don't need all these things, but we will see. I'll just put them to the side here. And then we need to start off with our card base itself. I really like this like transit paper. I think that's really nice. So I'm going to try I'm just going to tear papers. I think that always looks better, but we'll see what happens. And again, we're going to cut away whatever doesn't, you know, whatever's on this outer edges anyway, because we're going to trim this down. And then I'm just going to go for it. So I have my Mod Podge again. Ugh, it looks so gross the way this came off or didn't come off. I don't know. All right, well, there it is. All right. So what you want to do is get some of this good stuff in here. And obviously we're going to put a thin coat. I mean, thin enough to not be too obtrusive, but you want everything to stick down, obviously. So the point is to always have this stuff sticking down. You don't want it to come up later. And sometimes they even recommend brayering. Have a little brayer. You don't have to do that, but I think it's probably better to really get in there. Okay. And then I don't know, maybe a little of this one. And some people like to tear like this, or, you know, pull like I was doing. However you want to tear this paper. Oh, I don't like the way that worked out there. Oh, I didn't get high enough. Like I said, you really want to make sure. I'm not really blurring that. I just kind of wanted to touch that and make sure that got in there. And then maybe this one. Did I cut that too small? I might have cut that one a little bit. That's okay, actually. Because we have lots of things, so I can put something in there to cover that area. If I get glue on this, obviously it's water soluble, so I can just wash it off. I'm not too scared of that. I just want to really flatten these out. I like the way that looks already. That's so pretty. Okay. So, obviously we have something that has to do with water. I didn't really want that right in the center, but it kind of works out. So if I put this guy here, and then we have our plane. There's a lot going on here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put all this stuff on here. London. We have arrivals, departures. That's so cute. Again, I got to think about this because I don't want these to get cut off. Pop that guy up a little bit. I don't mind that there's a little white section there. Those departures. Actually, what I could do about that little white section. I haven't done this stuff in years. It's a lot of fun, you guys. This is like... There we go. I'll stick this down. Try to get less of that on there. Okay. And more this way, and we have that. This is very cute. Okay, I may not use any of these animals because I didn't really know. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? If it was more like Cairo and like Egypt and stuff, maybe I'd have some, but there's nothing like that. Just trying to think of how I want to layer this up. And this is all, again, going to be flat, so that's kind of why you have to play with it. Nope, something fell. And I'm going to bring some little pink into this, but I don't know if the pink... I love here. So you have the only thing that they mentioned about Egypt was this one. That's why I was like, well, this will work, but I think that's a pretty good amount of stuff. Maybe a marker. What do you think? I don't know. I think that's good. We're just going to go with that because I put out a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I wasn't sure if I was going to use any of it or all of it. So let me move some of these things off. And I'll apply our next coat. And before I do too much down here at the bottom, I forgot I was going to do something else. So I need to work on that before I get too far. Oh, it's a little bit crooked, that's okay. And then we could have, what's the word? Distressed all this stuff, you know? But I just kind of have it the way it is. How did I have this, like this? I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. We're just going to add things and have fun. Okay. What I meant to do before I got too far was to actually do a little stamping, but... And basically just with the numbers, just because it's fun. So let me see if I can get that done. Let me grab something to stamp with. I'll be right back. This whole piece is one piece. It's easy to cut if you wanted to, because you can just cut around the lines. So I just took the whole thing, because like I said, I really would just wanted to play with the numbers anyway. I have some black soot distress ink, which is supposedly archival quality, so I shouldn't have to do anything with this. And I even stamped on the letters. I don't care. Like, whatever. I just want some fun, little something different. And like I said, I wanted to stamp it in different areas. I just didn't get the chance because I forgot. So... That's cute. Maybe put some numbers going this way. Okay, just a little something. And then we're going to take this guy. If you guys remember, I used this not too long ago. It's just a roll from the center of, what's that stuff called? Some tape that ran out. There we go. Oh, that looks like canceled postage already, huh? I didn't even think about that. I just thought it was cute. So, love it. Okay. Alright, I'm going to let that dry for just a second because I don't want to hit it with the glue right away. And I'll be right back and we'll continue building up. So I have a question just as I'm working on this. If it's archival ink, then how come you can wet it and it will move? Maybe while it's still wet? I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to find out. I just thought about it. I'm like... The whole thing with distress ink is that you can wet it and it will move, you know? So I'm going to barely put anything just to not really wipe it too much. Right? So let's, oh, again, I wanted this more this way. Over here. And then I had this little... I'm going to wipe it on here just in case that ink starts moving on me, because like I said, it said archival. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait, hold on. Distress ink usually does its own thing. So basically use an ink, probably VersaFine would be better, because some archival inks shouldn't move with water, okay, period. But distress ink, not distress ink, VersaFine, obviously we know that won't do anything funky. What's the other one? Well, just anything marked archival. And I get this question a lot. People are asking me a lot about glues and a lot about ink. I have a video on inks. I don't have a video on glues yet. I said yet, but just trying to make sure all these little bits are stuck down. But I'll try and do that soon because I get that question a lot. Is that all I had? See, that's when you're like, oh, maybe I should add a little something else. No, I think I had a little land marker, right? I should go with the dark blue one. Okay. And if you want to put more ink on top of that or whatever, obviously, go for it. So I'm going to brayer this for a little bit. Make sure it's really stuck down. And then when we come back, we're going to put a top coat, and then we have to wait for that to dry. And we'll make our, actually maybe while it's drying, I'll make my stamp for the little lines that we need. Okay, I'll be back. I'm just going to keep brayering it just to keep it soft and smooth and flat. Okay, so last coat, again, not too thick. I'm going to get it on there. And see how neatly I do this? I'm just kidding. And I want you to know the ink is not moving. So I guess once it's dry, I don't know. I always figured it would always reactivate, but unless that's a special one. It's the Distressed Black Soot, but it says archival ink. I don't know. You guys can let me know, because normally I always feel like it reactivates. That's the whole point of it. Okay. So I'm going to let this dry. Now, some people like to put 2 coats, 3 coats, 4 coats, 5 coats. So I guess it depends on what you want to do. I put 1 coat. I'll probably do 2 coats, to be honest. So we can work on that in a little bit. For right now, we've got to let this coat dry. And I'm going to keep this like in a baggie or something so it doesn't dry out. Or you can just wash it out, but however you want. And let me get my materials to see about cutting ourselves a stamp. I'm going to send this away because I have to work, and I can't work with all this sitting right in front of me here. Alright, so pretty, you guys. I love it. Oh my gosh, and it feels so nice. What a fun thing to do. Okay, so I'm gonna make my own address thing, and if you look at postcards, it's kind of interesting. They have a lot of the lines for like the part for the to or whoever you're sending it to, but on the top part where you're supposed to put your return address, they don't really put the lines. Some people do, some people don't. I guess it depends on what you want to do. So, and there's usually 4 lines. So one other thing we're going to talk about real quick before that is that area where you do the, I looked this up because I wanted it to work. Like, I don't want people to send this and be like, oh no, it doesn't. They want you to clear the bottom 5/8 inch of your postcard, right? Because that's where like the little barcode scanner thing goes when they run it through. So whenever you stamp at least 5/8 inch above the bottom of your card, and then the area for the thing for this kind of, for a 4 1/4 by 6 postcard should be 2 1/8 by 2 3/4, like no bigger than that. 2 1/8 by 2 3/4. So, interestingly enough, I'm going to maybe just make it so that it works just for that. So the easiest thing to do is cut lines into this, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do so that we can make it easy and fun. Where is my ruler? You guys, it's one of those mornings. I'm telling you, I just could not think of like what I wanted to do. I had ideas, but you know, 2 1/8 by 2 3/4. So this has rounded edges, which actually might work for us, but I'm gonna get rid of them. I'm just gonna make it like square, I guess. So I want to, again, just cut off that little bottom edge. So I'm just gonna make a line. You don't have to measure this at all. Like I normally would just eyeball this and go for it, but you know, you know me. All right. And then I just want to see what 2 3/4. 2 1/8 by 2 3/4. So 2 3/4 is this big, and it says no bigger than that basically. So I don't even think I want to make it that big. Let's go 2 inches. So we'll do 2 inches. And then 2 1/8-ish. That's fine. So I'm going to cut a space that fits down in here. I don't really care for those dimensions. They're not that nice. Okay, I'm going to take this guy. And I'm just eyeballing this, so it might be crooked. I'm not really caring about that. That's a weird measurement, isn't it? 2 1/8. High, 2 3/4 long. I'm still going to take off a little bit more. I don't really like that. I like this better. And I'm going to remove this edge too. Okay, so as long as you're smaller than that space, right? You don't want to go bigger than what they had said there. I'm going to trim this down just a little bit more. And basically I'm just going to cut lines. So you can gouge lines out of this, or you can cut the lines so everything that's gouged away but the lines. So it depends on what you want to do. And I thought I would do something cute, but now I'm thinking about it. Let me think. If I want to do one... That's kind of small. You know what? I don't want to use that. I'll use that for something else. I'm going to do this. Alright, I'm going to use this piece that's left over here. I don't really like the way that was looking. So I'm going to take this piece. Yeah. And then just make sure it's not bigger than 2 3/4 long. So I'm going to cut the edges off. And you can always use this for something else, obviously, these big chunks. And where did I say 2 3/4 long? Let me... You guys, we're just going for it, okay? This is, again, Freeform Friday. 2 3/4 is about right here. Boop. So when you draw your lines, you can either, like I said, cut into the lines, gouge them away, or cut everything around the lines away. Now that's going to take more time. So what I always thought, and I thought this would be cute, is if you did this, and you have about 4 lines, right? And I'm just going to hand draw them because that's part of the charm. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. And then maybe just for funsies, some kind of decoration around the edge. I don't know what that would look like right now. I'm trying to think what I would do. You know, just a line around the edge is fine, like this. I'm just gonna go real close, and you'll see. It seems weird, but it'll be cute when we're done, because we're barely gonna gouge on that line. And this will work up really fast. Now, if you want to write 2, then you would just write it. When you go to stamp, think about that. When you go to stamp, it's going to be like this. So your 2 needs to be over here and it needs to be written backwards. I'm not going to do it, but if you were to do it, you have to put like this, and then an O and a T. So when you go to stamp, the 2 would be the right way, okay? If you wrote it on a piece of paper first and you drew out your paper and then you put it on here because you're going to reverse your paper and get the graphite onto your stamp, then just write it normal. But if you're writing directly on your stamp, you got to do that. And yeah, maybe I will do the 2. I wasn't going to, but so I'm gonna use the gouge because this is the easiest thing to do. I've already shown different videos on how to make rubber stamps in different ways, but for right now I'm just gonna use this, and all I'm gonna do is follow along my little line. Not too deep, not too shallow, just right in there. And to be honest, as shallow as it gets is fine, because as long as ink does not touch that space, you're good to go. So it could be very shallow, but I like to get it at least a little bit in there. And then we'll test it, and then we'll see if we like it. And maybe I will keep, like I said, I'll do the 2. It's easy enough. Okay, so I'm gonna finish these lines and I'll be right back, because those are just the same thing, just pushing them straight across. Okay, and then this little edge, I'm just gonna follow what I did. Just for funsies, just a little something. And actually maybe we can break the line. Don't even do like the whole line, make it look a little more rustic. You see how I'm just kind of stopping and starting? And over here, maybe stop that. Start again here, maybe. And if we don't like it, like when I go to test it, then we'll just trim away the rest. It's not a big deal. And so when I go to stamp this, we're going to stamp it with like a very light colored ink. That way when you write the name, it'll show up. Now this part I'm going to hold real close to my face because I want to make sure. I'm just making this up, but T, O. Okay, this one I'm going to put down. And what's easier on the circle kind of things is just move the stamp, move the material. Keep your gouge where it is, move the material. That's so cute. And then this one, you can just divot, like little divots. You don't even have to write 2 with the 2 divots. I just think that's cute. Okay, so let's test this out. If we like it, we'll move on. If we don't, we'll do some fun stuff. Again, I would stamp it in a light color so when you write the person's name, it'll look cool. Is this light enough? Let me see. This might be a little bit dark, but that's okay. I always usually do this in Stays On first, just to be honest, because Stays On will stick on there really nicely. But we're going to use this. Aw, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. It's very basic. I was thinking, oh, I'll put like a cute little thing, but I was like, you know what, we'll just do it basic. And that works for me. If you don't like this outer edge, you can just also carve away the rest of the outer edge, and then you'll have just this inner part that says 2, but I just put the edge there just for funsies. All right, let's bring back our postcard. Hopefully it's almost dry, or dry. I just want to check in. I did do a second coat, and I hit it with the heat tool. Like, the things that you can touch it. Obviously it's not sticking to my hand. It's not cured for like several weeks, right? That's how Mod Podge is. But as far as that, I can touch it and everything. I don't know that I want to cut into it yet, because what if it's still kind of soft underneath, and when I cut it, it's gonna like pull the paper. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give it a little while. I might even remove it from here just so that there can get some air behind it, but it didn't really even go through that Crafter's Companion paper. That's what I started with, that their stamping paper. It's like a 315 GSM paper, so it's a thick paper, okay? But again, I'm gonna let some airflow kind of come through here. I'll probably just leave it like standing up like this, and I'll be back once it's ready to cut, and then we'll put our little address label on the back. Okay. Feels a little better. What I'm gonna do before I stick this in my guillotine is remove most of the tape. Now I went ahead and painted over the tape, so I'm going to, instead of pulling the tape away, I'm gonna cut it away. Like I said, you don't have to use the tape at all. I just wanted it there to help me keep my paper down. I think it did its job, because the paper, like I said, did not warp very much at all. Excuse me. Okay, So I know that I want to cut right on my boat because the boat is at the very base of the postcard. You know what I'm saying? I can see that. So that's going to be my first cut. I'll bring out the small. Sorry, I just got something in my throat. So yeah, I wanted to cut at the very base. So that's the first cut I'm going to make. And my paper is pretty straight from, you know, I had cut it initially. So it's, I'm still going to butt it up to there. But I am going to cut off this bottom part. Looks like I need to cut more than that even. So a little bit more. There we go. So cut that bottom part. That's going to be my guide for how wide for... Oh, I'm sorry, we did the smaller size, didn't we? I keep thinking the 4.5 by 6. Oh my gosh, you guys. Hope I didn't say that too much in the video. So yeah, no, this is your smaller size card because the larger is 4.25 by 6 if you want to make a larger postcard. The small guy is 3.5 by 5. So here's 3.5 by 5. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this edge and see where we're at. So yeah, I forgot I'm making the little guy. Oh, it's so cute. I'm just going to push a little bit more this way. Again, your postcard can be any dimensions between any of those things that I mentioned. And I guess if you wanted to, you can go around and do a little distressing. I see there's a little tape still there, but I'm just going to leave it because it doesn't bother me that much. But you can distress around your postcard, and that's the postcard. So, of course, like I said, there's lots of different sizes. I'm assuming those are the standard size, but I guess you can make it whatever you want. I don't know. I always think these are cute whenever you go and you get like this size postcard. So on the back, I'm just going to line this up kind of straight. And what I did was stick this on here is I just put a little of this little glue runner. And I'm going to put this on here. Again, it's not straight. I did this by eye. My my stamp itself, so I'm not really too worried about keeping it straight. I'm just gonna go for it. And you want to clear the bottom 5/8 of an inch, right? So whenever they run it through, they need that for the little so just pay attention. 5/8 of an inch is just over 1/2 an inch, so as long as you clear that bottom part, you're good. Oh, I'm gonna use quick dry ink in Sandstorm. And again, about 5/8 of an inch up. I'm just trying to make sure because this is a hard surface that it actually stamps very well. And there's that. And I suppose if you wanted to put that little line that people put, you can do that. You know, just draw a little line. But I'm just going to leave it like this. Well, no, it does look kind of cute to put that little line in there, huh? And then up here, you just put your return address. You don't have to write it out, but if that's what you want to do, or you do have to write it out. Yeah, you don't have to stamp it out, is what I was trying to say. They do want you to write, obviously, your return address. So really cute. Again, if I was saying this to somebody, you know, I don't know. I'll just put my own name. And then you have your P.O. box. And I always like to use that fourth line. It's supposed to be for like US or whatever the country code, but I always like to put the zip code on that. So, all right, guys, that is it. I think it was just something fun, something different. And let me know if you ever made your own postcards and how that goes. I know some people I had seen back in the day use like old cereal box, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of thick. But you know what's funny about that is that as I was looking at regulations about this, they're like this by this, and you know, as far as the 5/8 inch clear, so they can get it through the machine and make it smaller than 1/4 inch thick. I'm like, what postcard would be thicker than 1/4 inch? I mean, it's a postcard. What? I don't know. I guess I have no idea. That seems very odd to me, but that's just part of the regulation there. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that was fun for you, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.